This is gonna get pretty serious and personal because I'm gonna talk about my experience with it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is May and I'm a third year at Cal State Long Beach, and today's going to be one of my more sit-downy chat videos, and we're going to talk about depression. This is not an easy thing to talk about. This is not a lighthearted, fun video at all. This is going to get pretty serious and personal because I'm going to talk about my experience with it. Before we even really start, by the way, I have an iced latte because I was up late last night doing homework because I've recently got an Audible free trial and I was binge listening to Brene Brown's vulnerability book, and no regrets because it's great. But anyway, that's for a separate video. I might do a review on it. So just the disclaimer before we even get into this is that I'm not like a mental health professional at all. Like, the only authority I have to speak about depression or any mental illness is the fact that I've experienced it and I've gone to therapy and talked about it. One of my pieces of advice is going to be to go to therapy. This video is not gonna like cure your depression. It's tips about how to deal with it, but it's not gonna make it better. That's just a disclaimer, but this is not like coming from a mental health professional. This is just like stuff that's worked for me. I will talk a little bit about my experience. The first time I can distinctly remember being depressed is the summer after my junior year of high school, so it was between junior and senior year. I don't remember much about that summer, quite honestly. Like, I remember my parents and I went to Washington, D.C., but for the rest of the summer, I just kind of remember these days when I wouldn't want to get out of bed and I would just be on Tumblr on my phone and not want to do anything. And I had no idea. I would never have like consciously thought at that point in my life, oh, I'm depressed. That never would have crossed my mind. I just distinctly, not even distinctly, I just kind of vaguely remember feeling unmotivated and just awful. And that's when I first started going to therapy. I don't even think I really talked about depression too much in therapy. I think it was more like anxiety, because that was like a much worse problem for me. And I don't think it really got bad again until last semester. Like, I definitely struggle with anxiety much more. Like, anxiety is like a constant in my life, but depression is like something that'll rear its ugly head every once in a while, and it's not like, I will rarely get like a full-blown episode, but last semester was a full-blown episode, and I talked a little bit about it in my sophomore year reflection, but I don't even know that I labeled it as depression then, even though that's definitely what it was. And so if you don't know, last semester I was taking classes that I really didn't like. They were stressful, they were hard, and after spring break, I like couldn't handle it anymore. I was so unmotivated to do my work, and there would be days, like, I just want to make it clear, like, in case you don't have depression or like don't even know what it feels like, it's not just feeling like sad about something. It's literally like, it's not like, oh, like, I don't feel like doing my homework, so like I'm gonna like procrastinate and like watch these YouTube videos. Like, no, like, I remember last semester I would just like lay in bed and stare at the ceiling. I wouldn't want to do anything. I would not want to get up. I wouldn't want to check my phone. I wouldn't want to text someone. I wouldn't want to watch a video. I didn't want to do anything, much less homework. Like, you lose interest in the things that you're supposed to want to do, the things that you would use to waste time. I didn't want to write. I didn't want to make videos. That's how bad it was. That's what depression is for me, and I think that a lot of other people can probably relate to that. And so it was hard, and I am definitely not trying to say that I like have the worst depression ever, because I for sure don't. I was still functioning. I went to class, I ate, I never lose my appetite no matter what happens. Literally, I'm always eating. I finished out the semester, got A's in all my classes, but it was rough. It was just not a good point in my life. And the worst part about it is that you can't even pinpoint why you're depressed, because you just are. It can't be like, oh, well, like, I'm depressed because this happened. Maybe that could be the case for some people, but a lot of the time with mental illness, it's not because of something. It just is. It's just happening in your brain. And that's what's so frustrating about it, is when you can't figure out why it's happening. So then you feel like you can't fix it if there's not like a problem that you can for sure fix. And I've talked about this with my therapist this semester, and because he asked, like, is there like a reason that you think that it happened? And I'm like, no. I was disinterested in my classes, I was overwhelmed, but that's happened before, and I haven't had that reaction to it. So the first thing I would recommend is going to therapy. And I know that, like, not everyone has access to that, not everyone can afford that. If it's bad enough, there's medication, and I didn't even want to consider that because I don't want to deal with like side effects and all that stuff, but like I feel like if it got bad enough, like it would be like, let's just try it anyway. So that's something that I would also think about. What I've been talking a lot about in therapy this semester is that we have feelings that exist. Okay, they just are. And here's the feeling. We'll go like this. This is what my therapist says. This is the feeling. And then we judge it. And other people judge it, and we perceive that other people judge it, and that society judges it. And it becomes 10 times more ugly and worse than it was when it was just this. Because depression sucks on its own. Nothing's fun about it. But there's a difference between I'm depressed and I am worthless because I'm not being productive because I'm depressed. The problem comes when we start having negative thoughts around this feeling and starting to do negative self-talk because of it. That's when it really gets ugly, because we can't help this feeling. We can't change it. It just is. But when I'm depressed, I immediately am like, oh my god, Malin, like what are you doing? Like, you're like a piece of crap. You're not getting your work done. You're not productive. Because I feel like I have to be. But I'm telling this to myself as much as I'm telling this to you guys right now. Your self-worth is not based on how productive you are. It just isn't. You're worthy because you are a human being. Let that sink in for a second. Society is constantly giving us this image, especially if you're a college student, that being exhausted means that you're doing better than other people. If you're not stressed, what's wrong with you? This is getting onto another rant. But basically, from my experience, when you're depressed, you're not productive. So that's where the problems come. Hopefully this is making sense. So really the first step in dealing with depression is being kind to yourself. And that's not easy for me, that's not easy for a lot of people. It's taking a step back and saying, I am feeling depressed right now. That's this feeling. And it's turning off that self-talk. It's turning it around. It's acknowledging this feeling as valid and trying to not put all the judgment onto it. So another thing I've been talking about in therapy, my therapist has this model where there are these three energies. I don't know. You have your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings, and they all influence each other. Okay, so my battery died, and I had to go to class, so this is much later in the day now, but I'm gonna finish this video. So, when you're depressed and you're not getting the things done that you need to be doing, then the negative self-talk starts to come, the negative thoughts. And that's when it can be a really dangerous spiral, because then that makes you feel even worse about yourself, and then you're even less likely to do anything. And I'm saying you, but I mean me too. And so it just comes back to what I said earlier. It's recognizing you're doing fine. You are worthy just because of being human, and it is okay. What you're feeling is not the best feeling, but it's just there, and you have to deal with it. So another thing that I talked about with my therapist, so like I'm not taking the credit for these ideas, okay, is that the easiest of those three to change is the action. And I found this to be very true last semester. I couldn't change the feeling. And to some extent, you can try to change the thoughts, like I was just talking about. But action is the one to start with, and then it'll start slowly influencing the other two. And I'm definitely not trying to come at you guys on a pedestal saying that this works for me every time and I do this and my life is great, because I know, I get it, how hard it is to do anything when you are in that terrible state of hopelessness and emptiness that is depression. It's debilitating. So to say, just do something, I'm gonna try to make this helpful, but the truth is that yes, you have to force yourself to do something, but not everything. So don't think about, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this assignment, I was supposed to water my plants, I was, whatever it is, like I was supposed to clean, I was supposed to cook this, I was supposed to go shopping. Don't think about all of it. Pick one super, super small thing, which could seem like the biggest deal when you're in that place, I know. Something like making your bed. Get up and make the bed. Focus on one task at a time. I personally find that making my bed actually makes a huge difference in my day. Like, not kidding. I will totally have those bumming it weekend days where I'm in bed until like 1 p.m. and I'm maybe not quite that late, but like I'll just like do reading, like pull my laptop into bed, like stay in my pajamas, and that's fine. But like most days, if I like want to get up and try to be productive, getting up and making my bed and getting dressed and ready, even if I don't have anywhere to be, it doesn't have to be a nice outfit like this. It could just be like getting dressed and, like athleisure. But like washing my face or showering. Showering's a good one. Because when you feel gross, then you really don't want to get up and do anything. Just the most simple things, when you focus on those things one thing at a time, will make a difference. And no, it's not going to cure your depression. It's not going to get rid of that feeling, but it's going to make a little step toward it. Something like making tea or getting a cup of water or making food. And the point that I'm trying to drive home is that, like, that's the only thing. Just focus on that one task while you're doing it, then move on to the next thing. Do not let all of the things you have to do start spiraling in your head, because that's when it gets really dangerous. I would say that you yourself showering and being clean, drinking water, and having a clean space. So like making your bed, cleaning up the desk area, things like that. That is a starting point. And then once you've done that, look at the rest of your to-do list. What has to be done? What is there no way around? And then look at that and break that down. And be kind to yourself throughout this. If you just can't get anything done, it's okay. It is okay. And you're gonna get through it. So, hey guys, didn't even set my tripod up for this. I'm just gonna talk to you directly because I don't feel like it. This is later. I just realized that I forgot to put this in that video. But another tip I have is to change venues, if at all possible. Once again, I know that that is just not possible sometimes. But if it's nice outside, I put in headphones and like listen to a podcast or listen to music and just go for a short walk to like clear my head. And what's interesting is that today was actually kind of like a little bit of that depression that I was talking about. So I feel like I'm really trying to like lay down the point that I'm not at all talking to you guys on a pedestal as someone who has gotten over depression, because that is in no way true. Like, I haven't had an episode as bad as last semester, but it could happen again. And I still have days that are hard. Like, there are a couple things that influence it today. I can tell the fact that I was home alone all day makes me not want to be productive when I have no one else that I'm seeing doing anything. It's extremely hot outside and extremely hot in here because our AC doesn't do anything if we turn it on. I have a fan. I went to Dunkin' Donuts earlier and like forced myself to get homework done there, but since I've gotten back, I like have not wanted to do anything. So I made myself film this clip for you guys because I wanted to like put that in there before I like put all my footage up on my phone. I've also done a lot of cleaning, which was my other tip. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and yeah, that's it. And then my other piece of advice would be to reach out and talk to others about it. I can definitely say for sure that when I was depressed, that was the last thing I wanted to do. I did not want to talk to anyone. I isolated myself. But then when you have those moments of clarity, when you can kind of come out of it for a bit, talk to other people about how you're feeling, because then you can feel connected and seen by other people, and it makes it a little bit easier, and then they're also aware of what you're going through, so they can kind of be like on the lookout for signs that you're like doing okay or not doing okay. And having a support system really, really can help. And if you don't have anyone in real life that you can talk to in real life, like, okay, in person, maybe there's like an online community or something. You can always, like, if you guys want to talk in the comments of this video, I'm like totally down for that. So talk to your friends, talk to your parents online, reach out. Therapy, manageable tasks, be kind to yourself. Those are my main points. So this video was super, super long. I'm gonna wrap it up now. Thank you guys so, so much for watching. I really hope that this video was helpful and that it made sense to y'all. Yeah, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I will see you in my next video. I make videos every Monday and Thursday. Bye.